Welcome everyone to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, and today spawning on the west side of the map playing in green, we have got Valdemar playing as the Byzantines, and his opponent on the east side of the map playing in blue, we've got Recon playing as the ayyubids. Welcome everyone to Golden Pit. That is the map for today, featuring 2 civilizations from the Sultan's Ascent DLC for Age of Empires 4. I'm pretty excited because, of course, this is an interesting matchup. The reason why I say that is because both civilizations have the potential to be a bit boomy, but recently I feel like the Byzantines have been playing a bit more aggressively as well. And I think generally it's an interesting matchup, not only just because of the civilizations, but the playstyles of the players. Like Valdemar, I see as a relatively aggressive player at times, but he can obviously have a very strong Abbasid dynasty and Chinese booming up. I mean, obviously, all these players can do it all, really. Like, there's no skill set that they don't necessarily have, because they wouldn't reach that level of their gameplay if they didn't have a certain set of skill set. But Valdemar, it does seem like he likes to be aggressive, and I think he's going to need to be, because the ayyubids, they can be very strong at booming away, like, for different reasons than other civilizations. Now, whilst they are a sub-faction for the Abbasid dynasty, they don't get Fertile Crescent, they don't get fresh foodstuffs, so they don't get cheaper town centers, they don't get cheaper villages. But what they do get is this kind of weird trade wing upgrade that gives them essentially favorable trades, but the trades that you get come in tickets and you don't really necessarily know which ones you're going to get. But there's a potential to get free villagers, there's a potential to get free traders, there's the potential to get military, there's potential to get better trades on resources. So it's like 125 gold for, I'm not sure exactly what it is actually for the feudal age one, but it might be 200 of another resource or something like that. But the castle age ones, obviously each time you decide to delay a tech up to the next stage. So for example, this version, well, let's take this for example. So the wood industry economy, if you take it to get to the feudal age, you get 300 wood on age up. If you take it to get to the castle age, you get 1,000 wood on age up. In any case, it is going to be the trade wing bazaar upgrade for Recon. That's going to give him access to those trade caravans every 3 minutes. So I'm pretty excited to see what he decides to, or what he gets, what he can choose from, really. Now, the Byzantines, we've seen a new build come out for them. I'll probably maybe codify this in a build order. I think Maito came up with it really first. I think that's the first person I've seen do it. And of course, now we've had other players obviously showcase their own version of it. But it's effectively a 3 cistern expansion early on in the Dark Age. And it does increase that villager capacity or villager efficiency by a lot, by the way. So it starts off at 5% with water level 1. And then it's going to be increased to 10% with water level 2, as you just saw there. And it's going to be increased to 15%, which is pretty good. Bear in mind as well, the Byzantines do actually earn stone from each building that they build, depending on how big the building is. And that can often lend themselves into a nice second town center. But what I would say is generally, like, I think the Byzantines are being found out. They're being discovered that actually the Imperial Hippodrome, this landmark, is incredibly strong. It actually houses some really unique technologies that I really like. In particular, Expilatores, it actually enables horsemen to get a +2 attack damage extra against villagers. But also, if they kill a villager, they get 20 gold. So raiding becomes really beneficial with this landmark. And that's something that I suspect that Recon's going to look to do. The ayyubids probably going to be playing a bit more defensive. A lot of gold in the bank for Recon, of course, because he's going to be using the trade. And going to be getting those favorable trades. We can see, we just click on that right now and see what he gets. So he gets villagers straight away. Look at, oh my god, he just got 4 villagers for free. That's just boosted up the economy incredible amounts. And he's also got 2 Bedouin swordsmen. So you can imagine that power spike is incredible. He literally just got 4 villagers and 2 military units. In the blink of an eye, they're going to head across the map. And in fact, it's not going to be the Byzantines that are going to be super aggressive. It's going to be the ayyubids, primarily because of this tech up. I mean, he should be okay to defend this, Valdemar with the horsemen. But the trouble is, these swordsmen, they do pack a punch. Like, these guys aren't weak. They actually got 140 HP and 9 damage. And, you know, it's moving across the map pretty quickly. Now, Valdemar is aware of that situation. Going to bring the sheep home as well, no doubt. There's a horseman. Did he just rally that to the town centre? I think he did. Come out! He's hiding. Come out of there. In any case, he's going to extend that network of aqueducts to get the water level 3. Now, Eco will be rocking and rolling. Now, we might even see some more trades coming in soon. As you can see, it's actually 125 gold for 200 food. Yeah, it is. So it is 200 of the other resource. I did remember correctly. He's going to be harassing the villagers on stone. Can't get too close, though. Looking to maybe torch down the houses. There are 2 houses there that could be ripe for the taking. But here come the horsemen. Got a decent number of them now. 125 HP, 9 damage. So it's actually pretty on par with the Bedouin swordsman. In fact, the swordsman got a little bit more extra HP. Although the horsemen do have the ranged armor, which obviously is not going to feature in this particular battle because there's no ranged units here. And so with the third unit, though, Valdemar should be able to win this fight with a good micro, which he is doing. He's going to take out the swordsman. But it's a really nice, unique unit for the ayyubids. And he's going to use that triumph ability just to heal up these units. It's such a nice ability, I have to say, for the Imperial Hippodrome. There we go. Increases the damage by 25%, but also increases the movement speed and also health generation by +2. And it takes out the swordsman without losing a single unit there. Valdemar. As you'd expect, there's a Desert Raider coming out on the field, a unique unit for the ayyubids. That's an interesting unit. I feel like it's a decent... I think it's a decent unit, but doesn't necessarily scale well into the castle age, it seems. At least from the games I've seen so far. But Valdemar did get that third cistern. It didn't actually get it in the Dark Age. Got it in the Feudal Age. So, still, it's 2 in the Dark Age and 1 in the Feudal Age extra. It's pretty damn strong. And now all of a sudden, the eco is going to be looking quite nicely for Valdemar. Going to push this back, and Recon's going to have to head back home and look to defend and think about what his next plans are. That stone vein, it could be a little bit exposed. If Valdemar actually times this correctly, he might head right there and might deny the second town zone expansion, which is certainly what Recon is looking to do, right? He's got 5 villages on stone. That's got to be the play. Got quite a few villages on gold as well, just to get the trades in. Of course, villages do back away, does get back in time, and no wheelbarrow, so he needs to be careful about that situation, Recon. Keep an eye on it. He does retreat back through the stealth forest. I mean, it's a fight that Valdemar possibly could have taken there. But doesn't feel too confident just yet. Should be able to get that second town center now pretty nicely. Now, this could be a nice spot there. There is a patch of 3 deer, berries, wood, and stone, and a relic, and the boar. Not that the ayyubids can take that, but I think that'd be a nice spot for it. It's pretty far out, so it's got to be careful. It does deny the outpost for now, but the outpost will go up. And it should be okay now for Recon to defend. But I don't think Valdemar was aware about this stone being taken. He will be aware of it soon. Question is, where will the villagers go to for that second town centre? We'll have to wait and see. And just whilst we're waiting and seeing, I'd like to just say a very big thank you for everyone supporting the channel, whether it's just being, dropping a follow on the Twitch streams or dropping a like on videos. It's very much appreciated. And well, these Desert Raiders are starting to pop out for Recon. Starting to build up a decent number of them. Gets the second town set a bit closer to home on the wood and the berries. Going to play a very condensed economy. Obviously, going further out like that would have been dangerous against this number of horsemen. He'll push us back for now. He might engage this Valdemar. Should do, and he should win that fight if it does. There's one archer there adding to the fight. Desert Raider's going to try and take down the archer. That looks like a spearman there as well. Desert Raiders do back away for now. So the outpost is up. Probably will be looking to get arrow slits. Got to be careful here, Recon. There's a lot of military here on the field for the Byzantines. I do love this build, actually. It's got to get barracks as well. Not yet built that house. Was that a mistake? That might have been a misclick here. The village is going forward instead. Uh-oh, Valdemar. He's not spotted it. It's going to drop another house with the villagers rushing it up, but there is a half-constructed one there. Down in the south. Well, going to be trying to attack that stone mine, but the stone has already been taken. Going to be getting a villager killer here, at least I would have thought. On the palisades. They were building it, but wasn't able to get it up in time, and now it is open. That's a nice bit of sniping there. Well, the trouble for Valdemar at this stage of the game is that Recon's in the corner, right? He's actually in the corner of the map, makes it a lot more easier to defend. He's got the wood line on the edge of the map, just needs to get the palisade walls up, which he will do now. He's walled up to his House of Wisdom. There's a town centre there, static defence, naturally. There's also an outpost on the northern aspect of his base, and if he just walls up to this wood line, that's exactly what he's doing now as well. If he walls up to that wood line, to the outpost, he is really well and safe and secure. And being on second town centre, that means he's going to have more villagers, and this is where things become a little bit tricky for the Byzantines, right? They're going to have to be a bit more aggressive, try and get some siege on the field, maybe a ram or two, or I should say Siphon. They can burn, but it's going to need to do it quickly, right? Because the ayyubids, they are really scaling their economy. And he could still even be trading in the extra villagers as we speak. I think he's maybe got a couple here because he's quite far ahead. I know he's got on 2 town centres, but looks like that outpost will be going down now for Recon. There was no arrow slits in there. Horsemen do back away, and on the back of this, Valdemar should probably be getting the water level 4. Hasn't just yet. Has the stone to do so, though. Just keeping 2 villages on stone at all times. Just to be able to achieve that. And it's getting wheelbarrow now as well. Double broadaxe already in play, but that's already in play for the ayyubids as well. So the economy looking really strong here for recon. And outpost going on the stealth forest for the Byzantines. Gives them a staging ground to attack from. The good thing for the Byzantines is that he's kind of denying one patch of gold. The trouble is, he's got this one safe, right? There's 4,000 gold in that. That's more than enough he needs to actually probably mount a response to get to the castle age and push back. And I think that's probably the play here from recon, right? Doesn't really feel like Valdemar can get all that much damage. And if he goes to the castle age and tries to defend in the meantime, he should be able to scale up with a lot better units. Namely camel lancers. I'd love to see some camel lancers. Outpost does go up, and now all of a sudden Valdemar has to back away, right? He can't really feel like he can take the fight. Not with this number of archers, though. Now, what's interesting is the way that the dynamic, words are problematic for me this morning. Now, the way the dynamic of this match is going is that it feels like Valdemar is going to be getting that map control. Maybe look to get a keep in the middle. Maybe pick up the relics if he goes to the castle age. That's one option. The other option is to go for a very heavy feudal age and a lot of pressure, which he will need to get siege engineering for to be able to afford or have access to the Cairo siphon. Doesn't yet have a blacksmith, which is a little bit problematic. He's going to need 150 wood for the blacksmith first, build that, and then research. Looks like instead he's going to go for the castle age. You can kind of tell by the resources that are coming in. That's going to be a good timing. The trouble is, without siege, it's very difficult to do meaningful damage in many ways. We shall see what he's able to do. I think the biggest problem is that with the Ayyubids going to the castle age, you'll be able to afford Ghulam. And Ghulam pretty much does a great job against everything that Valdemar has, right? And this is the thing about having a heavy feudal age army and not being able to do any damage with it, because once you've got it alive, right, you're going to want to upgrade these for sure. So it's going to have veteran horsemen, veteran archers, maybe even veteran limitani, but the trouble with that is that they don't necessarily become a hugely relevant unit in the castle age if your opponents go for very heavy armored units, which is always a possibility, right? And it's quite commonly the case because, of course, recon doesn't really have that much military that it needs to upgrade. I mean, I think most of it is archers and a couple of desert raiders. So the archers will scale well. He's got a couple of Bedouin skirmishers which he just bought. So yeah, he scaled up into one unit, so just needs one upgrade really, veteran upgrade. Probably not worth upgrading the desert raiders for now, I would have thought. We'll see. Alright, well, on the back of this, Valdemar now does have that water level 4. That's going to be increasing the cistern influence on the villagers' gather speed by, I think, 20% now, which is really significant. Almost on par with the dragon villagers from the Order of the Dragon. Going to be going up with the mercenary... Well, wait. Going to get the Western Mercenary contract. Yep, so going to be getting some longbows or maybe some lance connector. Maybe in the late game some Streltsy potentially. Going to be trying to get a raiding in with the Desert Raiders, true to their name, but doesn't really achieve all that much there, Recon. Did kill one villager in the end. That outpost is pretty unprotected, does have emplacements, but that's going to be torched down pretty quickly. Well, actually, maybe not quickly, because it has got the stone investment into the fortifications. Desert Raiders coming back home. Recon is very far away from that castle age, right? So the tech up's going to be nice timing here for Valdemar. Now he can do two things, or maybe even both. Maybe look to get some of the relics, maybe look to get some heavily armored units himself. But most likely he's going to get the veteran upgrades, right? Extending that cistern network on the south to that wood line and to cover the berries and that stone vein and the deer pack potentially. Let's just see actually how much range he gets with that. Yeah, it does cover it. So we'll see. Because the army's heading out forward now for recon, maybe just to see how much value he can get, and maybe behind this look to go to the castle edge. It looks like it's heading that way. The food income coming in, gold income coming in. And it's a good time for recon to attack, right? He can't afford to give away map control for too long, especially with Valdemar and the castle age. Because of course Valdemar's going to want to get those relics. There are 3 relics in the middle of the map. 2 in the actual central pit, 1 in the south. 1 closer to home for Valdemar, 1 closer to home for recon. It's relatively evenly spread, but yeah, this is a good angle of attack for recon. He's going to protect those 2 relics in the middle, but more importantly, he's going to look to do some damage. We do see some Varangian guards, and those Varangian guards will chew through a lot of the archers, so he's got to be careful with recon, not to take a fight he doesn't have to. Going to try and pick off as many of the Limitani as possible. The good thing is, if you pick off the Limitani, that does allow the Desert Raiders and the Horsemen to charge in. So let's have a couple of the Bedouin skirmishers firing off, and this should be a good fight here for Valdemar. It's Castle Age army versus Feudal Age army. Valdemar backing off, uses the Triumph ability. That's going to give him the increased attack damage, movement speed, and also the healing, as you can see on those units. And that should be a good cleanup. Recon might be losing a lot of units here. The Varangian guards absolutely tanking that front line, and those archers are going to have to back away better than skirmishers too. The trouble is, he doesn't have the movement speed, right? The horsemen will just charge us down. Meanwhile, they're healing, and this is why I absolutely love the Imperial Hippodrome. This triumph ability is causing untold problems. Like, the units are just so hard to kill. He does get one there, but he has to turn around and fight here, Recon. There's no backing off now, and he's going to lose what he has. The Varangian Guard is pretty slow on their feet though to chase, so there's going to be some good kiting coming out potentially here for Recon. They're going to sacrifice the cavalry units to save the archers. Desert Raiders go down. The archers head back home. The Varangian Guard, they're going to chase. Alright, well, this is a tricky situation because Valdemar needs to do damage. Make no mistake about it, this was a good fight for Valdemar, but this is only the beginning. And this has to be only the beginning because he is behind significantly in economy. Give that economy for Recon another 5-10 minutes, that's going to scale into another military force. That could be a little bit too difficult to deal with. He is going to that castle age, I think? Yeah, he is, yeah. Going to go up with the culture wing advancement, so it takes 40% less time, costs 500% less resources in entirety, and that's such a strong upgrade, right? That actually is probably going to save Recon here because he's got to that castle age, he's got a lot of archery ranges, he just needs to spam out crossbows. That's all he really needs to do, and then he should be able to defend, but he needs to be careful because a lot of archers there. He's going to be fighting underneath the town centre of the Valdemar, trying to get some value, but as long as too many villagers don't go down for Recon, he should be fine. He's extended his economy up to the north, looking to get a mosque there for the relic. Has walled himself in the north, but this is where the main action is happening, right in the heart of the base of the ayyubids. There's quite a few farmers there that could be left idle. Varangian Guards diving in to get as much value as he can, but look at this, he's only killed 3 villagers so far. Crossbow numbers are starting to build up, and those crossbows will do well against the Varangian Guards. Now, granted, he only has Steeled Arrow, of course, not the second attack upgrade, not balanced projectiles just yet, obviously too early. He is queued up though. Behind this, the Varangian Guard numbers are starting to dwindle, but he's trickling in more units. Something happening in the south. Let's take a look at that. Trying to ride in, and does have an outpost on the deer camp. Wasn't enough to push that back. Villagers here for Valdemar. Maybe looking to get a keep. Wait. I mean, surely that's got to be what it's for, right? I was having to mine some more stone. I think he maybe tried to get a keep up, and it didn't quite happen. But that's pretty rough. He's going to look to get a keep now. And it will be in a strong position, I've got to say. It's going to pin Recon in quite heavily, but the question is whether it will go up. And even if it does go up, actually this is pretty strong because this is a good staging ground to take out the landmarks, right? There's only 2 landmarks for the ayyubids. There's a House of Wisdom and there's a town centre, but he's got to deal a lot of damage to get that down. Recon's going to be careful here. So that's a dangerous keep to let go up. And it might just go up. Recon, though, kind of restructuring, going up northwards instead. Getting another town centre, which would be great for static defense and economy. Recon playing this very greedily. You always got to be careful, though, because you only got 2 town centres. Oh, sorry, 2 landmarks, rather. One of them being a town centre. Can't afford to lose those. Of course, is a win condition here for Valdemar on the back of this. Valdemar now does have his level 5, so it's going to be a good 25% buffering of those villagers. No relics coming in just yet for the Byzantines. One is already in play for Recon. It's going to get another as well. Now, the Varangian Guard is going to attack that farming transition. So the food income is going to be a bit tricky, although not so much for Recon. Take a look how many villagers are on food for Valdemar. Had 0 there for a second. Did now jump up to 16, but that's pretty rough. He's really lacking on food. And that's not helpful when you're trying to produce Varangian Guards. So you can get a spring ult just to take out the mangonel. The mangonel is an issue. Villagers have to be careful here for Recon. Does he have textiles? Not yet. Mangonel deploys, focuses on the infantry behind. Actually, he's focusing on the spring ult. He wants to take the spring ult out before it's built. And he might just do so. Recon, oh, he doesn't delete it in the end. He loses the spring ult, but he does lose the mangonel to the Desert Raiders. That's such a good snipe off there. Gets a good surround. Archer numbers looking decent, though, for Valdemar. Bannertarms, or Varangian Guards, I should say. Tanking gets the Desert Raiders, but he is fighting underneath the town centre, which is not necessarily ideal. Goldvein is secure on the northwest aspect of that primary town centre. There's a lot of idle time being caused. Trouble is that Valdemar is losing lots of units, right? No siege push coming in. I think that's a big difference, right? You don't really want to lose army here in this push without siege, because you want to take out the infrastructure, and it feels like maybe he might need to gear up for a win condition of taking the landmarks. Because that eco is looking strong here for Recon. He will have a good timing pushback if this continues at this pace, because Valdemar, it feels like he's not killing recon quick enough. Villagers coming out towards the middle of the map now, securing the gold, getting a keep. I like this play by recon, right? There's a temptation to get a keep in the base, but if he does that, then he doesn't get a keep in the middle. He won't have got access to gold, and that's really what he needs for premium units in the Castle Age. Villagers pop out once again, and back over to wood. So despite being under so much pressure, it was actually recon that made his move out into the middle quicker. He's got a good economy in the north as well. Lots of stone coming in. I mean, he could potentially actually afford to keep back at home soon, but I feel like Valdemar's missing an opportunity here to be aggressive. I mean, he does have a siege workshop, maybe potentially getting some rams. I was going to get a trebuchet first, which kind of makes sense. Especially with the keep being there. The keep will defend that trebuchet for sure. Trying to get a bit of raiding value here, recon. Trying to keep the Byzantines at home as much as possible. Villagers being pulled away from that wood line. And capturing that sacred site. We'd love to see recon actually get his sacred site. It's quite safe there to take. There's the trebuchet. I feel like everything needs to be pumped into siege at this point. Maybe a big push in could work here. But he does need to take out that House of Wisdom and that town centre quickly. There's a 44 villager deficit. And you can see, look at that resources coming in. 800 food. Compare that to like the 300 coming in for Valdemar. A good amount of gold coming in for recon as well. And the concern is that the ayyubids can build springhoards on the field, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some springhoards. Snipes a village or two. Now Valdemar's killed 24 villagers. Bear that in mind. He's still down and out in terms of villager count. Recon. His economy is absolutely huge. And that's a trade worth taking, right? Like, sure, Recon's lost 25 villages, but he's like more than 25 villages ahead. Almost 40, actually. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. So the damage coming out for Recon not quick enough. You see the mangonel placement inside the keep, which is really cool. It means that infantry won't be able to really get too close. It needs to be, I mean, there's the landmark TC. There is the House of Wisdom, about to be burned with the Cairo Siphon. Recon's got to be careful. He really does. He's got to find a way to deal with the Cairo Siphon. He's going to have to come around the back, but the trouble is the keep, right? Body blocking the surface area. Now the House of Wisdom. It's going to be burnt. Has a trebuchet. One so far. Second Cairo Siphon coming out. I mean, this is looking dicey for Recon. He's going to have to time this really well. Setting 2 rams forward for the outpost to take care of that, I think. A couple of longbows, but the villagers there might torch it down. Okay, this might be go time, and a second keep going to be trying to be put up there by Valdemar, but it's in range of the town centre. Those villagers won't manage it. They have to go around the other side, but it's still in range. Valdemar, that's too close for comfort, my dude. I don't think he's going to get that keep up. It's way too close in range, and now the army there for Recon can add to the fight. Sure, he might get the House of Wisdom, but that keep won't go up, and if the keep does sustain damage, he's not going to have enough stone to rebuild. And he's committing to it, but the town centre is focus firing for Recon. Recon looking to get keep of his own to protect. I mean, the House of Wisdom will go down. That'll stop a tech up into the Imperial Age of any sort, but this is looking rough. Oh, he deletes the... Wait, he's only got 298 stone left. He lost a lot of HP on that, and it meant that he does get the full refund when he deletes it, but does lose the House of Wisdom, and now he's going to focus on the capital town centre. This is where it all heats up. This is what it all comes down to. Recon, he needs to produce units, and fast. He needs to produce anything he possibly can. He needs to stop the Cairo Siphon burning things down. I'm just going to try and burn down the keep, it seems, instead. It loses one Cairo Siphon, maybe a second. But where are they going? They're going around the other side. Villagers come out from the back and don't get involved in the Greek fire. They're going to torch one down. I think Recon just sacrifices villagers at this point. It's absolutely fine. He's getting a ram on that keep, torching it down. There is a trebuchet that's focusing on the town centre. The town centre is being repaired, though, by Recon. And there is a mangonel. Villagers coming out to torch down the springald. The springald is being repaired by Valdemar. It's going to stay alive on its last limbs. It's absolutely huge, but both keeps going down. There for Valdemar. Well, one wasn't built. And Recon's keep stands. It's a good pushback. We talked about this, the timing for Recon. It has been good. A couple of Gulams, though, going to be slashing those villagers. They're trying to repair the Springald. The Springald will go down as well, and eventually, maybe. I don't know if the Mangonel decides to deploy, but yeah, the Gulams are getting good value. Villagers coming out. Wait, are the villagers being torched? No, they're not. They're not in the range of the Greek fire, I'm afraid. And 2 Springalds. That's going to take care of the Mangonel. Will it? It does. Take a one-shot. Great pushback there by Recon. He's held, and that could be the decisive moment in this game. The push wasn't strong enough there for Valdemar. It wasn't quick enough. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Valdemar taps out. He knows he's down and out. He knows he's behind a villager count, and he wasn't able to sustain that push. Recon with a great defensive masterclass hold for the ayyubids on Golden Pit. Hope you guys enjoyed the castle game, and if you did, do give the video a thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, take care, and see you next time.